Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're going to continue on today and finish off our pre-footer here. If we go down there, this blue section, we added a quick link section, and yesterday we added our Google Maps. On this side, let's put an address and fax and email and all that, and perhaps call it reach out or something like that. So let's get started. I'm going to open this page HTML file. Here's our root folder where we created all of our files. This is the features page we're working on, so I'm just going to right click and open it with my text editor, which is brackets. If you've not got a text editor, brackets is absolutely free and you can download it from a link below this video. If you do have one, that's fine, any text editor will do. So here's where we left off. Here's our pre-footer. Here is our quick link section. Here's our map section. Just want to take that back a little bit. Shift tab. There we go. Lined up a bit better there. And here's our empty column where we'll build our little address section. So I'm gonna steal this. Well, let's do it again. So we need a heading. So I'll just type it out again like we've been using before. We've been using H3. I'm also going to give it a class of text center. So we want it to be central on the div that it's in. And we also want it to be white. So we're going to add the class of H3W, which is a class we created which will turn our H3 text to a white color, which we need on that blue background. Okay, and what do we actually want it to say? Well, I think reach out, something like that, or get in touch, something like that, I guess. Okay, now what are we actually going to want to do? Well, we're going to want kind of a list, but I'm not going to use a list for this. I think I'm going to wrap them in classes of their own. This is pre-footer, so I want to give it a new class. I think I'll give it a pre-footer text, PFT. So let's start a new div, and I'll give it a class of its own, which can be sort of pre-footer text, PFT. That's fine. And inside there is where we want to put each of our contact details. So let's have a think. First thing we want to do, I guess, is a phone number. So let's put a P in there. And international 01 USA 321 123 4561. Guess we'll split those up a little bit. Okay, we can say that's telephone, and we can copy that the whole div, and I'll change this number. Obviously you'd have real numbers to put in here. I'm making this up as I go along. Fax number, perhaps slightly different. Then we're going to want an email. So info. No. It's okay, little gap there. What else do we want? And I guess we want the address as well. So let's copy this. For the address, I'm going to want things on different lines. So let's paste that in there. Let's say guessing 123 your street. Now I want to put a break in there because I want the next thing to be on the next line, so we're going to put a break in, BR. Some big city, I guess. Where is it? Suite 2A. Another break. Next line, big city. I guess I'll just write big city. And finally, want another break with a zip code and state, I guess. Let's say big city Arizona, why not? Of course the Empire State's not in Arizona, but that doesn't matter. This is all fictitious anyway. Okay, so it's got a zip right there. Alright, let's see what we've got here. It's going to be a pretty boring looking list at the moment. Should be white because we got that text light class going on up there. So let's just take a look and see what we've got. Control S. Let's go back to the site. Move our root folder out of the way. We should have a list on this side now. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's actually quite close to what I want. But let's just make it slightly more interesting. We got Font Awesome installed. Why don't we add some Font Awesomes like a phone and a fax and an email and an address thing. We could also put a button here to go directly to the contact page. I know we got one here, but it would just look quite cool and stand out on its own. So let's go to Font Awesome and choose some fonts. And go to icons, and if you don't know what we're doing here, have a look at the playlist that's below here. It's got all of the videos from this series in it. Have a look at the one where we installed Font Awesome. It's really easy and you get a lot of icons to choose from. So I want an address. I'm going to use the free ones. And first thing I want is a phone. That one will do fine. Just left click to copy the code, and let's go back and just paste this in by the phone number. Where's our phone number? Right there. I'm going to put it inside the P tag. There it is, right there. Now I guess we'll want a fax for this one. Let's choose that one. Copy. Back to the HTML. Put our fax in next to our fax number. And I want an email for this next one. Let's use this one. Back to our HTML. Put this one next to our email. And then I just want a little sort of map marker to go in front of the address there. Say map. That's what we'll have right there, just one of those little map markers. Left click to copy the code, back to the text, back to the HTML, paste that one in there. Of course this is going to push that slightly to the right. We could float these to the left, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Let's save and just see what we've got now. Control S. Go back to our site. We should now have those fonts down that side. There we go. We got them there. But I'd like to, let's have a look, see. I'd like to have them perhaps a color, perhaps this purple color, and need a bit more space between them and the number. So if I inspect this, let's just work on this top one. Again, I'm using Google Chrome here. I'm just using the Google Inspector, right clicking and inspect. I'm on the icon. So what do I want it? I want it that purple color. So let's say color first. And it's 731397 was that color. 731397. As you can see, it's turned it purple. I'm not going to make it any bigger, but I am going to give it a little margin on the right hand side to push that number a bit deeper in there. So we'll say margin right. What should we do? Let's try 10 pics. That might be too much. I don't know, that's okay, I think. Let's just leave it at that. The other thing we could do, probably won't though, is I could push these icons so they're slightly off to the left and so the writing's all lined up here. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm not too worried about this being pushed over a little bit there. It would look a little like this. Let's say margin left. Say minus 25 pics, something like that. Maybe a bit more. See, that would keep all the text lined up nicely. Just rolling my mouse wheel over it. I think it wants to go back just a little bit more. Something like that. So it'd be 29. So all our icons would be out in this little gap here. And that would be lined up correctly with the rest of the writing. But I'm not going to bother about that. I think I'm going to just leave it in line like that. We'll copy this. And what I need to do is target PFT, which is the div that it's in, and the I within it. So it's PFT I, and then paste this code in. So let's go to our custom style sheet. And right down at the bottom, I'll start a new title. I'll call it address. And as we said many times before, anything that's between those stars will not be read as code. So it's great for putting titles in, which makes it a lot easier for finding stuff at a later date. So it was PFT, and we were targeting the icon within there. I need to put a dot in front of PFT because it's a class. So it's .pft icon, open and close some curly brackets, drop down, and in between just paste that bit of code that we had there. Make sure I got the curly on the bottom. Yep, sure do. Save that. Back to the site. And let's get our inspector out of the way, refresh, and all our little icons should turn purple and have that little bit of 10 pic space on the right hand side. So let's refresh. There we go. Like I say, we could pull these over so it was all lined up, but I haven't got a problem with that. I think that'll work fine. Okay, let's put the cherry on the cake and just add a little button over here, and we'll use our purple button that we had up the top, I guess. This one right here, which is, I'm only using the purple because it's the same color as our icons there, button danger. Okay, well, let's go to our HTML and put that one in. Well, what I'm going to do is, here's our HTML. I'm actually going to put it within this one right here because that's where I want it. I don't want it to be outside. I want it to be on the right hand side. So we might have to use a bit of float going on. So I'm just going to add it to the end of this within the p tag. So let's add it to the end after that number, and it's going to be a link, an anchor tag, and it's going to be the class of button. And what did we call it? It was button danger, wasn't it? Was the purple one. Okay, so we've got our class. Now where do we want to link it to? It's going to want to link to the contact page, but we haven't built that yet. So let's put href, and we'll leave a gap, or we'll put a hashtag in there where the link wants to go for the contact HTML that we've not actually built yet. If I close that out just after that, then we want to put the text that's within the button, which will be contact, I guess. That should be it. Like I say, we're probably going to have to do a bit of CSS to get this in exactly the right place. So let's save that and see what we've got. Back to the site. Let's go down. Refresh. We should have a button over here somewhere. A purple contact button. There it is. Okay, that's great. But it's pushed it down a little bit. So let's see what we can do. I want to pull it up a bit with a bit of top margin. Negative. And I don't know if I want to put it further over to the right. So let's select it. Inspect. Let's roll it up so we can see what we're doing. See, we're on the button. Let's say, let's try floating it to the right and see what happens. This may or may not work, so we're going to say float, F-L-O-A-T, :right. That's okay. Just we need to pull it up a little bit. It's leveled off that line a bit more, which is I want. We just need to pull it up. So we'll say margin top. And we'll give it a negative value, so it'll pull it up. Let's say -20 or -25 pixels. We can always adjust it. Actually, I think that's about right. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That's in the right place. At the moment, that's capitalized. I don't think I want that capitalized. I think I want that just regular text. So we'll say text transform. And we'll say none, and it'll take off any styling that's on there. So we should have a capital C and lowercase ontact. So I want to say styling none. There we go, just like that. That is all she wrote. That should finish off this little section nicely. Let's put a semicolon there. Let's copy this code that we've just written. This time we want to target the same class, which will be PFT, but it'll be PFT BTN. PFT BTN. So let's do that. Let's go back to our style sheet. Custom style sheet. And again, it's PFT, but we're targeting the button within it. So it's PFT. So it's pre-footer text. It's the class of buttons, so we want to put dot or period BTN, class of button, open and close some curlies, and let's paste that code in between them that we just copied from our Google Chrome. Tidy that one up. Right, let's save that. Control S. Let's go back to our site and get rid of the inspector and refresh. And everything should pretty much stay exactly the same. Great, there we have it. Well, that's our footer pretty much complete. Now what I want to do is I want to copy this so all the pages have this pre-footer just above the footer. So we've got our quick links, we've got our location, and we've got our contact details here with a CTA button to go directly to the contact form when we build it. So let's take this little bit of code and put it on all the other pages. I've got all my pages open in my text editor, all our HTML documents here. So if we go back to our text editor and we go to the features, which is the last one, as you can see, I've got my index, which is the home page, got my custom CSS, my about, price, services and features pages. I want to take this whole section, highlight the opening bracket on the section, and it'll highlight the closing one so you can tell all of the stuff you need. So I need to copy this, select it all, make sure we've got both tags, yep, closing tag and opening, Control C to copy. Now I'm going to go index page, I'm going to put it above the footer. Here's the footer, so I need to drop down and put it between these two here. Control S to save. Same thing for the about. It's exactly the same for all of these pages. Here's the footer. Now we'll just pop him in there again. Control S, price. Here's the footer, so just above the footer again. Control S. Last but not least, is the services. That's it. Control S. Let's go back to the site. Now all of our pages should have this pre-footer, and also our footer should be dark on all pages. Let's go to the home page, check it out first. There we go, there it is on the home page. There it is on the about page. I think on the about page we might want to put a little divider between those two sections because they're both blue. Pricing page. There it is after our sponsors, brands. Service page. There we are, right there. Fantastic. And features page, we know about that because that's the one we done. Okay, that's after our accordion right there. There we are. And we've got no contact at the moment. So the last thing we need to do this site, we'll start on that next, is work on our contact page. So there you have it. Our pre-footer's built. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and comment. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We've got some great free courses down there, as well as some premium web development courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. So do check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and WebDesignAndTechTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.